out, y'all.
What is up? What's good? What's happening, everyone? As always, got a stacked lineup today. Talking about some of the highest grossing films. Some of the most homework I've ever had to do and to endure. Some of these horrifically bad movies that, yes, made a lot of money, but they are really bad. For example, I never sat through the Despicable Me movies. And through this, I now had to. But yeah, we'll also continue Hogwarts Legacy for however long I can endure it for, until I get too tired of it. I kind of want to finish it soon because we got the BAFTAs coming up later this week on the Sunday. This is a bit too loud for me. Hold on, let me turn it down a bit. We got the BAFTAs coming up later this week, I think on Sunday night. And then I just kind of want to get back on track to play some more games. I do want to finish the prequel game to The Last of Us 1, Left Behind, I think is what it's called. The Ellie prequel. And then I do want to get to playing The Last of Us Part 2. Which, yes, I have not done just yet. So, yeah. That's that. But yeah, we'll get this train going sooner than later. Just want to see some people trickle in, and then yeah, we can do this collaboratively, although I'm already telling you, you got no say in what I actually pick. But for the illusion, you know, that you feel like you do have a bit of control. Early on, I'm telling you right now, you probably don't, because I'm selecting these of my own preference. But yeah, so many movies to talk about. I hope it doesn't take us hours, but we'll definitely push through them as fast as we can. There's a bunch of good films in this as well. I also, the other day, did the same thing, but only with the 32 highest grossing films with Lachlan. So there was a bit of a debate about certain films. But that video will come out, I think, this weekend. I don't know what date yet. On the Quiet on Set podcast channel, if you want to go check that out. Just like for someone to go against my opinion. He went with some picks that I wouldn't have gotten as far into the bracket, but you know, it is what it is. It is what it is. A nice balance was struck for a lot of this stuff. Also, I was almost late, so I do have to quickly do some work stuff. But I can give you a preview of what it will be looking like. Hold up. It's not this. Yeah, like here. Like this, you'll see like it uses a lot of my screen. And Pokemon does have some bangers in the OST. Alright, what do I have to post for the social media job that I have at like this local art house theater? And I do have to already late on doing the posts. It's getting a bit distracted with watching that really great series from Ryan Johnson. That's called like Poker Face with Natasha Lyonne. It's had another like really fun episode. Also watched Abbott Elementary, the new episode, but that series, I gotta say, is a bit of a letdown since the second season started. I don't know, something about it just doesn't click as much with me anymore. All right, I gotta quickly grab some stuff and then we can get into it. We'll kick it off in a second. Okay, cool. Let's get started then. Just pinging the Discord real quick. All right. Let's get the show on the road. All right. Okay. Let's kick it off. Getting it all ready, sound-wise. I'm not too familiar with all of this stuff, so it takes me a bit longer. I'm like a grandpa with all of the technology, man. Okay. Avatar 2 is about to overtake Titanic as the third highest grossing movie of all time. Now, we are here to determine in those 128 highest grossing films of all time, which one stands out as being the best, that actually deserves to make that amount of money. So we are going to determine this in March Madness style in single elimination rounds. The highest grossing film, Avatar, goes up against something like a Captain America not Civil War, the Winter Soldier, sorry, in the first round. And you can see that exactly over here. Right? These are our matchups. We got a bunch of stuff coming up. First round is going to be Avatar against Captain America, the Winter Soldier. But as you can see, heaps more to come as we go through all of these matchups with 128 movies in total. So let's waste no more time and get into this straight away. First round, we got Avatar. I'm sorry. Let me pause this and start the tournament. I didn't start the tournament yet. All right, let's do this. Let's do this because we are serious here. We are talking about serious topics. I feel like, you know, the audio has got to be on the back end. I don't know if we need music for this. I feel like there's a really seriousness when you talk about blockbusters. Because, you know, if you guys know, it's the most important thing about movies. Like, how much did they make? How much did they not make? How much of a return did they make? It doesn't even matter about the quality of the film. So I feel like in my first round here, oh shit, I actually went with something wrong. Hold on. We gotta quickly course correct. I do have to change something in this bracket, so I don't have to each time report the scores here. I did this a while ago, and I think I didn't set it up completely correctly. Let me do that real quick. The quick advance. Okay, cool. All right. Maybe we can put on something chill, like the OST music again. All right. Alright, let's have a look at our first matchup, which is between Avatar, the original, that I also don't want to give anything away about my ratings here, so I'm quickly going to log out of Letterboxd so you don't get spoiled. But it is between Avatar, the Winter Soldier, and Captain America, the Winter Soldier. Already a tough matchup. If you look at the Letterboxd scores, they're pretty evened out as well. To me, I don't know if I got a preference. Like here, I feel like The Winter Soldier is one of the best MCU films. And Avatar just really isn't it for me. I don't know, but I'm sticking with the 128 ranked film in here, kicking out the highest grossing movie of all time in round 1 already. So let's move on to our next round, which is between Shrek 2 and Harry Potter and the Half-Blood Prince. Let me grab those two real quick. Alright. Half-Blood. You're going with Half-Blood, Wiley. You already know. Okay, so we got Shrek 2 against Harry Potter and the Half-Blood Prince. This is a tough one. I feel like Half-Blood Prince is one of my least favorite Harry Potter films, but I think there's no real outlier as like a bad Harry Potter film. Growing up as well, like the romance subplot in this is kind of fun as well. Easily your favorite Harry Potter film. That's, I'm also not the biggest fan of Shrek 2. Now hear me out here. It's that I prefer the original over this. I am going to upset some people in chat maybe right now, but I'm going with Shrek 2. I feel like overall might be the more beloved film. Oh, I forgot to switch in time. All right, so we got our next matchup here, which is between Transformers Age of Extinction, coming in at number 32 of all time when it comes to the grossest. Wildly already disappointed in chat. I'm so sorry. I actually, like, as I said at the start of the stream, some people might be upset. There's even another Shrek film that's coming up later in here. Hold on, why is it not in the correct spot? Also, these lists are like different everywhere you look. They're not all the same. But next up, we got Transformers Age of Extinction, a stinky little movie with the one and only Mark Wahlberg. The other one, Spielberg's classic E.T. that I actually had to catch up on for this bracket. I hadn't seen it before. I put it off for numerous times. And I think I am going to lean, obviously, towards E.T. To who's surprised? No one's surprised at that. Okay, the next matchup is between The Dark Knight Rises, which surprisingly I just see now made more money at the box office than the original, the sequel, The Dark Knight, which is surprising to me. That one's at number 50. This one is at number 33. Up against a beloved Pixar film, Coco. So let's see where we end up here. Between Coco and The Dark Knight Rises, for me, this is another really easy round, although I do really appreciate Nolan's take on The Dark Knight. I feel like Dark Knight Rises is probably my least favorite out of the three. And yeah, you can also see it in the ratings as well. It's just universally more beloved, and there's a reason for it, just because Coco is one of the best Pixar films, like, period, as well. So, next up... we have an interesting matchup between Star Wars The Last Jedi and Fast and Furious Presents Hobbs and Shaw. One of them almost cracking the top 15. I guess it's number 17. I don't know if like I did something wrong, but as soon as I look at this stuff on my letterbox list over here, it doesn't correlate. Like somehow it doesn't add up. So I don't know what I did wrong. But it keeps changing, man. All of these numbers, they just get really confusing. And then Hobbs and Shaw made a surprising amount of money. I don't have the numbers next to me right now, but I mean, one of the reasons we do this is so we can see, I guess, you know, the grand standoff between Avatar and Titanic, which currently they're about 2 million apart when it comes to their all-time gross, worldwide gross. So it's really close, but both of these films are in theaters right now. But our next matchup is between the number 16 film, The Last Jedi, which made $1.3 billion, up against Fast and Furious Presents Hobbs and Shaw on the second page over here. And it made $760 million. What's my preference, though? Between those two, I feel like this is a tough one. I really didn't like either of them too much, if I'm being completely honest. But overall, I think that Hobbs and Shaw is the worst movie. The Last Jedi tried some new things, so gotta stick with that. And it's my pick to advance. It already did advance, if you can see that over here. All right, next up, I think I'm calling it on the music. We are doing a silent stream. We're doing a silent stream today. All right, next up, Zootopia against the Hunger Games Catching Fire. Really a franchise that took the world by storm. With like all of those novels that I feel like we were looking for something to replace, like I guess the reign of the Harry Potter films, and we didn't really get that ever. We never got anything that lives up to it. We got the Divergent series that couldn't do it, and the closest that we've ever gotten was with the Hunger Games. Let's see, where is it? Number 80 something, 81. All right, let's pull that over here, and the other one is Zootopia. Where is it? Zootopia. All right, cool. So these two go up against each other. I think for me, although they're really close in ratings over here on Letterboxd, and I was pretty big on the Hunger Games series. I actually quite enjoyed it. It doesn't hold a candle to Judy Hopps. Though I quite like this franchise. I'm actually glad that, like, out of the recent announcements from Disney, that we get another sequel for Pixar, that we get a sequel for, what was it? Also another film that doesn't really need it, and now Zootopia. This I'm the most happy about, so I am going to go with Zootopia in this round, kicking out the. I don't know. I don't have an allegory for this. All right. So our next matchup is another Harry Potter film. We got the Deathly Hallows Part 2 that made it into the top 20 of all time. Props to them. None of the newer movies can do that. And then we got a Marvel movie for Love and Thunder. Up against it. One of the movies that didn't do as well critically for a reason, because it was kind of trash, and the Deathly Hallows Part 2 of Harry Potter offered a nice conclusion to the Harry Potter saga. I feel like David Yates missed a bit after that with all of his more recent films, of like the Fantastic Beast film that he also directed. But out of all of these, I think, well, maybe it will come up later, but like this is my favorite, with the Order of Phoenix, and since the fifth one, I guess he did them. So maybe it is time to hand it off, because he kind of peaked with the first movie he did for the franchise. But yeah, that's that. Easy enough. We let For Love and Thunder, no, Harry Potter advance into the next round. Next up, with Venom. Venom made that much. I guess the Chinese market really had a big influence over that. So maybe we can have a look at the box office gross for Venom as well. But it's going up against The Dark Knight, so I feel like this is an easy call to already make. There's not much to discuss. Obviously, one of the two is better than the other. Let's see. Right, so we got these two up against each other. Venom against The Dark Knight. One of them being one of the highest rated films of all time. The other one being Venom. With Michelle Williams, Riz Ahmed, and Tom Hardy, which is the most it's got going for it is its pretty stacked cast, but obviously it like doesn't hold a candle to anything that Christopher Nolan ever made. Unfortunately, there's a bit of a dominating thing for this, but surprisingly, again, The Dark Knight made less than the third film in the series. The Dark Knight Rises made over $1 billion, and this one was just it wasn't shy of it. It actually made over $1 billion. But where does Venom end up? On 81 with 856 million. So it gets beaten when it comes to the box office growth. So that's also gets beaten in the 1v1. Batman got this in the bag easily. So it moves up into the next round. Next up, we got the, I guess, recent continuation of the Jurassic Park series with the first Jurassic World. It's the highest grossing film in that franchise, although we are going to see the sequel to this film pretty soon. And then also Suicide Squad. Now, I'm not entirely sure which Suicide Squad we're talking about. Are we talking about the Suicide Squad, or are we talking about Suicide Squad? Now, that is a great question that will get answered in just 1 second when I find the movie. It is actually the Suicide Squad, not the Suicide Squad. I was hopeful that we'll get an interesting movie, but no. It's these two movies up against each other, which I'd say this is a David Ayer cut. This is not the one that James Gunn made. Two pretty shitty movies. Now, which one of these is less shitty? I don't know. One of them got Jared Leto in it, which arguably already makes it worse. I also am not the biggest fan of Claire Dearing, of Bryce Dallas Howard or Chris Pratt, but it still kind of beats out the original Suicide Squad because that was just a mess of a movie, just a train wreck. So that moves on to the next round. Let's have a look at the next matchup between The Jungle Book, another remake. We can see a recurring theme. These movies tend to make money if they're remade. I'm glad that apart from the Little Mermaid, we are not. There's no announced like next remake that they're planning to do, other than I guess the sequel to Jon Favreau's remake of The Lion King. But here we got The Jungle Book against The Secret Life of Pets, which is an Illumination film that's basically copying, I guess, Toy Story in a sense, and also a bunch of other things. It's also got Louis C.K. in it, which is ugh. And The Jungle Book is probably, other than maybe the Cinderella adaptation that was with what's her name, Lily James, probably the most solid remake, modern day remake, live action remake. And I can't stand The Secret Life of Pets. I think it's a really bad franchise that I think got like 1 or 2 other movies in it. So moving on with The Jungle Book. Next up, our 11th matchup is between Captain America Civil War and Indiana Jones. Where is it? There we go. Our next matchup is between Captain America Civil War and Indiana Jones and the Kingdom of the Crystal Skull. The 4th film in that franchise. We'll get another one later this year. And shit. There's like the ants. There's like the weird swinging. There's Shia LaBeouf, who doesn't work. Kate Blanchett's villain also doesn't really come together quickly that well. And this is like an Avengers film like 2.0. And it's got some fun dynamics. It's a bit forced. It's like got not the greatest villain, but it also sees the introduction of T'Challa as Chadwick Boseman as the Black Panther, which works wonderfully. So that definitely is the film that's advancing into the next round for me. We'll also just do the introductions, I think, in this first round with like the 1x1, and then we'll just go through them a bit quicker. Otherwise, this will take like literally forever. Next up, we got Aladdin against Indiana. Next up, we got Aladdin against the Twilight Saga Breaking Dawn Part 2. I don't miss the era where we literally had like, part 2s for a lot of these. Like the Hunger Games series did it. Harry Potter started it. Then we got it with Divergent. A lot of franchises ended up doing these like 2-part films, which I guess they're kind of making a return in some ways with Mission Impossible this year and the next year. And then also the next Across the Spider-Verse film also doing exactly the same. All right. Where do we have Aladdin? There we go. And then Twilight. The number. Where is it? There it is. All right. Yeah, I mean that franchise is super profitable. I'm kind of wondering how much did it in total make if we go to Breaking Dawn and then open this up in a new window and then maybe where does it say the franchise? Twilight franchise. And you can kind of see how much it made in total. Wow. Okay. Jesus. On a production budget, all of them combined, of 400 and almost 420 million dollars, it made 3.3 billion dollars. So that's yeah, a nice return for those films. And the first one by far was the one that did the least amount of money. Then it was really consistent. That's interesting. Well, we might do this. We might take a look at this for a couple of franchises, and then here it's up against Guy Ritchie's remake of Aladdin, which I found to be pretty solid. Nothing really outstanding, but compared to, I guess, directly the conclusion of Breaking Dawn, which had that like weird, like twist of. Was that even in this one, or was it like the one before, where like they had a precognition and showed, I don't know, the future, and then they like changed the future? It's a weird choice to go into your last movie to like not have stakes. But yeah. Oof. Next up, we got a film that I really dislike. It is The Lion King, but not the actual good, amazing Lion King, but the remake from Jon Favreau. That's a live action remake, but it's just like computer generated garbage that has no kind of identity whatsoever. Really disappointing. But it's up against another animal based franchise with Madagascar. Madagascar 3. I think 3 or 4 in total were made in that series. Let's actually check. Madagascar should be over here. Yeah, the original is down here. Then we got Escape to Africa. Those are both made less, I guess, than this at 194. And then 176. Just wondering how much the franchise made in total, because like it also includes the Penguins of Madagascar, and then yeah, an unknown fourth one that's still coming. But this one cost more than Breaking Dawn, or like the Twilight franchise had one less movie in it, and also made about $1 billion less. So I don't know where we can kind of see the downfall, because like these cost about the same amount of money. They doubled their production budget, but couldn't end up making much more than the original, which still is like a great margin that they made on these movies. So I don't know why they stopped making. Well, I guess they haven't stopped making them. They are continuing to make them. But if we compare this literal dog shit movie on the left against like a fairly decent sequel, that's okay. I had to rewatch this. I think I only watched it as a child. I am definitely going with Madagascar 3, just because Lion King does not deserve a single win in any whatsoever category. So that's that. Next up, we got 2 films that I'm also not too too hot on. If I'm being honest, we got Hobbit: The Desolation of Smaug, which is the second one in that franchise, I think. Wasn't that the one where like they leave like a cliffhanger, and then they all of the, if we have a look at like the Hobbit films, yo, what's up, Josh? A lot of the Hobbit films, like from 2012, then the next one, oh, this is the next one, and then we got the other two. This was actually the one that made the least amount of money, but it was the second one. Like that's a thing with a lot of these big films, like with Dune, with a lot of them. With Dark Knight, it's even more like in between the sequels, but also Nolan made movies in between. Like they made them back to back, and this whole franchise feels like it's really inconclusive in the way that it, I don't know, it just kind of, it kind of should have been just maybe 2 movies at most. You could fit it into maybe even 1. So it's not the strongest, but we'll go with The Desolation of Smaug first. And there's also Bohemian Rhapsody. over here, which you know, did get Rami Malek his Oscar. I'm wondering about the franchise though. You know, looking at Peter Jackson's Lord of the Rings, which includes also the Hobbit films. And what is this? 2024? Huh? Do we have an upcoming film that I didn't know about? Lord of the Rings. I don't know if this is actual thing that's happening. But yeah, they have a huge production budget for the Hobbit films. Also, fairly good. Like they made more, most of them, than the Lord of the Rings. But still, we also almost have $1 billion in production, almost 6 billion total revenue. So not too bad if we just look at the Hobbits franchise. Yeah, it's actually not too bad. It's I mean, it's not as much a return as, like, you know, maybe something like the Twilight franchise, but it's not bad. So yeah. Anyways, the Hobbit films were pretty whack, but compared to Bohemian Rhapsody, which for some reason, you know, we got this year, we had Elvis. We get one every year. That's okay. That feels like there's a big influence from you know, Brian May, Roger Taylor, John Deacon. Like the rest of Queen definitely had a say in how they get portrayed in this, and it kind of feels that way. I feel like biopics don't really fail. They still kind of do pretty well. They also make like a bunch of money. I think this made, if we take a look at it, about like 700 or 800 million dollars. Bohemian Rhapsody made, no, almost 900 million. That is so much money. That is an incredible amount of money that it made. But yeah, I don't like it either. I am not sure if, I think this was my favorite of the three Hobbit films, but then they all kind of blend together, if I'm being completely honest. There was one of them that pissed me off because they, I think, had a like BTS interview where they had a barrel of fishes, and they kicked it over, and then the barrel of fishes, like, you know, blew down, and I don't know what it was. And I think in the BTS they said that that was a real barrel of fishes, and something about that just like rubbed me the wrong way, because it's so much as CGI, and they're like, no, these are real fishes, they're not digital. I was like, fuck you, that's so annoying. Regardless of that fact, wait, he won the most Oscars of 2018. I know that he won editing, which, you know, look at this. Boom, that's editing. I cut to it. And if you want to get a representation of what Bohemian Rhapsody is like, it's basically this. Like, it's just a mess. It just does a lot of editing, and it doesn't do it very, like, quite well. Is it worse than The Hobbit: Desolation of Smaug, though? I don't know, because Benedict Cumberbatch does have a low voice, but other than that, I think he was kind of shit as a dragon. So I'm going with Bohemian Rhapsody, because we'll get 2 more chances for The Hobbit later on. Bohemian Rhapsody editing has become a meme. Yeah, man. I mean, it's a thing. Like, didn't it come out that they cut it up in that way that all of them had to be in there like the same amount of time. They like it's the Fast and Furious type of shit of like, oh, we exchange punches, and there's gonna be 5 punches that you are throwing at me, then I'm not blocking, and then it's a tie. It's always a tie. It's like that ego thing. But then also in here, because they know how powerful like these legacy biopics are, especially for music, because people like the music and then they identify, you know, this with it. There's no history is so much in like how it's written, and I know Leandro that you know a bunch about that. so yeah. Anyways, next matchup I'm really keen for. Table scenes, and I think they also used a table scene. Didn't they use the table scene as part of the, no, I think they used, no, I think that was the meme that I'm picturing now. I think they used like Live Aid or whatever it was called thing as the editing thing, but that looked like incredibly green screened. Like the way that they showed it, it was like more a VFX showcase and not an editing thing. It's just all kinds of wrong, man. All kinds of wrong of what this is about. But yeah. Anyways, Minions against Deadpool 2. Okay. I think at some point Deadpool was actually kind of a breath of fresh air into the superhero franchises, but I feel like now it's really we have arrived at a fatigue that we crave something like the Batman from Matt Reeves that is darker, but not just for the purpose of being, a bit of like like more gritty story. And this was like, the self-aware humor that Marvel has kind of tried to do ever since so much, and they've been failing at it so hard. It really doesn't work in any of the films, unfortunately. So if I had to pick between these two films, which this makes me want to barf, and this is actually pretty cool if we also have a look at the stunning hold up at the stunning Josh Brolin over here, who's the best thing about the MCU franchise when it comes to a villain. But also this is pretty fun. We got fun cameos from a bunch of people. The Brad Pitt thing is still like, oh, is it Matt Damon? I don't remember. It's really funny. It still is decent, and I'm glad it also is taking like 3 to 4 years until we get a new one in this. Maybe, there will be a slight bit of fresh air in here. But do I gotta explain which movie I go with when it's up against the fucking Minions? These little tic-tac shits have infiltrated all of our mom's phone screens. The memes, it's so bad. It's not funny. It's painful. It is so painful. I actually stopped going to one theater chain that is here locally because for the longest time at their counter, they had a huge Minion poster all lined up like there. And it was horrific. So definitely going with Deadpool 2 on this one. All right. Deadpool is easily better, right? All right, self-explanatory. The minions can go suck on a Tic Tac and maybe die forever, choke on it. They're just so annoying. They're so unfunny. And we'll get to them later, but the Despicable Me films are still gonna come up, and I did have to watch them because I just didn't want to watch anything associated with the Minions. They're so annoying. All right, next up, Pirates of the Caribbean on Stranger Tides against the latest Wakanda, the latest Black Panther film, not the latest Wakanda film, but I guess also the latest Wakanda film. All right, let me grab those real quick. Pirates of the Caribbean. All right, what are we feeling on those two franchises? These are also interesting again to take a look at. Maybe not Black Panther because it's such an outlier with the first one making a shit ton of money, especially in the States, and then the second one doing fairly well, I guess, in the like current climate of whatever a movie franchise can do. But I'm kind of curious to see what Pirates of the Caribbean looks like when you look at the whole franchise. So let's take a look at that real quick. Pirates Reeks? What? I feel like for me, it's like the movie that I kind of never was too interested in. For me, it was like early on as well with Lord of the Rings, and then I watched Lord of the Rings, and I think I only watched it once, was blown away. It was amazing filmmaking. And then Pirates of the Caribbean was something that was always on at like every sleepover. I think it was right around the time when like the second one came out in 2006. Yeah, I remember like being 8 or 9, and this like just kind of being on replay all the time. But this franchise has done fairly well for itself. It also is really famous for having the highest production budget ever with On Stranger Tides, the movie that we're talking about right now. It also made almost the most amount of money. I guess the second one made slightly more, but still, I don't know if it's worth almost $400 million in its budget. You definitely can see that this needed to make like Avatar 2 type of money to actually be profitable. I don't know if this movie is profitable. You see 400 million roughly and then 1 billion. That's a bigger number than the other one. Well, you also have to think about like doubling that for I guess just the budgeting reasons for promotion. And then there's also a cut that 50% of the gross goes to the theater chains, depending on it. There's a cutoff at some point where it's like more 50 or 60% going either way. And Disney is like pretty strict on actually getting the best deals and like having the stuff on as many screens as possible. But getting back on track with the topic of On Stranger Tides versus Wakanda Forever, I feel like this is one of the reasons why we didn't get like that many more Pirates of the Caribbean movies. They just don't work that well. And although I don't know, Black Panther: Wakanda Forever is weirdly enough probably like the best film coming out of Phase 4 from Marvel. It's definitely been the weakest phase, but it still kind of beats the fourth film in this franchise. So I'm going with Black Panther 2 on this one. I don't know if I guess the other Pirates of the Caribbean film will come up later on. I think that one has a better shot at making it further into the bracket. Next up, we got the up and comer here that's making its way to the third overall spot. The sequel to the highest grossing film of all time with Avatar: The Last Airbender. No, from the sequel to M. Night Shyamalan's Avatar film. No, up against one of the most beloved filmmakers when it comes, according to Film Bros, and that is the director of Inception, Interstellar, that we'll get later on as well. I think that will still come up at 125. Why am I not seeing it? Where is it? Inception. Did I get the wrong movie? I don't see it on my list. Where are you at, Inception? Did you not make that amount of money? Were you lying? Was I caught in a dream when they made the budget reports on this? I really don't see it. How much did Inception make? Do I have the wrong impression here? That didn't it actually make a lot of money? Oh shit. Wait. Hold up. Where is Inception? 125. Yes. Huh? It's not on my list here. Although, like, this list isn't totally accurate. Like I said, if you go to different places, it will tell you different things depending on the day. Interstellar. I mean, I'm looking at 125, right? It should be somewhere around here. Glad to see those two next to each other. All right, let's just look for it then. Maybe I'm just not seeing it. It's actually like right in front of me. Don't want to waste y'all's time, man. It's a large chunk of movies on the list. What do you mean? That you had seen them? For me, like, easily, like you said, Leandro, for me, it's easily Inception as well on here. Not even up for debate. I'm not the biggest fan of the Avatar franchise. Not the biggest fan of the sequel. I actually like the original more than this. It feels like it's technically really impressive for the looks, but it doesn't carry this really bland story, and the cinematic experience didn't really sell it to me. And then Inception, comparatively, has a great story to it, has the great visuals. It's got all of it. So I'm definitely going with Inception. Other than Interstellar, I don't know what else. And the two Dark Knight films. I guess all of his films do pretty well, unless they're like something like Tenet. But yeah. Anyways, next up, Harry Potter and the Order of Phoenix against Spider-Man 3. Which, do we even have to pull up the other thing? Spider-Man 3 is fine. I don't think it's as bad as some people make it out to be. It's even funnier when you just like watch it with friends, and it's just like, you know, it's a goofy movie, man. It's just a funny movie to watch. But where is it? It made more money than the original Spider-Man, which is also interesting. Let's look at that franchise next against Harry Potter. Goblet of Fire. Man, the Harry Potter franchise really did make a ton of money. Prisoners of Azkaban. No, that's the third one. There's so many. Oh, I found Inception. It's at rank 88. I don't know why it is at rank 88. It definitely isn't at rank 88. If you... Why is Inception here, man? Someone messed with my list. Someone played a joke on me. I just copied this list and like... Oh my god, that's annoying. This is completely wrong. That's why all of the numbers are like off by 1. I was confused for a second. Like, why is it not correct? Anyways, what was the movie we were talking about? Spider-Man 3 against Harry Potter. Some of the Harry Potter. That's Goblet of Fire, Half-Blood Prince, Order of Phoenix. Okay. We are back on track. Such a funny image as well. It's like, look at the spider on my chest. It's so. I'm Bully McGuire. Yes, that's exactly it. Spider-Man 3 wins in memes. Yeah, I mean, how many memes do you get out of Sirius Black dying? You know, it's just emotional trauma. Okay. No, for me, I think this was a movie that I really, really liked. It came out in 2007. And I was about to say, funnily enough, it's not funny, but this is also the same year that my dad died. So I was like, oh my God, I got representation. He's like a father figure because he was actually my father passing away, moving into the next life. He wasn't killed by Helena Bonham Carter, but actually just, I guess, lung cancer, which fair enough. I'll take either of. But I like Doro Phoenix more. It's my second favorite Harry Potter film. And Spider-Man 3 is my third favorite out of, I guess, that Rami series. So just by that logic, I'm going with that. But we can have a look at both of these franchises. We look at Harry. Harry is actually all of the films from Harry Potter in the top 100. Oh my God, that is incredibly impressive. I guess Marvel would have a similar track record with the amount of movies they turn a profit on and actually like are that highly, yeah, highly profitable. Saying the same thing twice. But it's interesting that the last one made the most money. That to me is always interesting. Like for Avengers, it makes way more sense. That like the combination of that story makes a ton of money because it is still accessible to people who haven't maybe seen the 20 films preceding it. But with Harry Potter, it's such like a story built thing that I don't know if it is for a lot of people that they just like, by the time these rolled around, you maybe have waited and caught up with them and then you go see this, or there's a lot of people who return to see the theaters. But like to see a spike like this, I mean, it is quite interesting to say the least. And they like obviously you'd have to adjust for inflation. It's crazy that the Half-Blood Prince, why did that one cost 250 million? That is crazy. But yeah, I mean they are a good return on investment. Less than 2 billion made, almost 10 billion in franchising money. I guess this is a good point to wait. Let's switch to my scene that's for the PS5. We got the trans right up in the corner, go to full camp to say fuck you, J.K. Rowling. But yeah, I mean, easily already made the decision there. But next up, we once again have another Harry Potter film, and now we have arrived at my favorite one out of the entire run. I think it's no secret that I guess if Alfonso Cuarón directs one of them, that I am quite a big fan. And maybe some people don't know, but I'm the biggest Transformers fan of all. No, I can't even go through that sentence because it makes no sense that Dark of the Moon, Transformers Dark of the Moon, did they forget a word or what is happening here? I like the wizarding fight between Dumbledore and Voldemort. I think it's definitely the peak of what fighting has looked like in the Harry Potter films. I haven't like I've been playing through and we will continue our playthrough of Hogwarts Legacy after we're done with this bracket. But something that stands out to me is that like I don't know, somehow maybe the like Fantastic Beasts franchise wanted to be a more adult oriented one where we get adult wizards as like they really wanted to cling on to the people who watched Harry Potter. And I feel like what they still could do is a more adult oriented one where we follow someone that's more ambiguous when it comes to their like hero's journey, because Harry Potter is always like the boy who lived, come to die, Avada Kedavra, and like he's supposed to be the person you're rooting for, and something that's more, I don't know, where he's maybe on the fringe of we make the Joker of Harry Potter films. Jesus Christ, that sounds horrific. But no, like you make something that's a bit darker and in the theme of something like Harry Potter Prisoner of Azkaban, which is fairly dark. It's introduces Gary Oldman, as Sirius Black, one of my favorite characters in the franchise, although he only survives about like 2.5 movies. He's only a face in the fire, in I think the Goblet of Fire, right? But yeah, Michael Gambon. Who's Michael Gambon? Michael. Is that like Michael Gambon. Wait, who did he play? Oh yeah, no. Obviously. Yes, his round ends with a movie that will come up later on. I don't know why. He's just like he's not that present in my mind as like, you just see him as he's one of those actors, I guess, that is just the character he plays on screen. But yeah, I mean, there's no debate here. We just brought it up for the sake of bringing it up. But all of the Transformers films will not beat out anything unless they're going up against a Minions film. Which, funnily enough, speaking about a Harry Potter Joker movie, another dude, are we done with the Harry Potter franchise, man? I'm not the biggest fan of Joker. I'll say that. Going into this, saying it will probably advance into the next round already. Because the Fantastic Beasts film, they blow. They all suck. They all really suck. There's none of them, like, not a single one of them is actually good. They're all pretty bad. And Joker, although it was definitely overhyped, it was overpraised, it was over-nominated at the Oscars, other than Joaquin Phoenix's performance, is still by miles better than whatever they try to establish here with Fantastic Beasts and where to find them, where you can see them and find them at a box office loss. And yeah, I feel like, wasn't J.K. Rowling, she was a producer, she wrote them, so these movies can get like an extra additional fuck you to them, because she don't got it anymore. She's a dumb, hurtful asshole character that we don't need to see return anywhere. And the other guy is the one who made the Hangover movies, which, yeah, they get drunk and they forget that they're Wolfpack. Woo! Okay. The commitment was like halfway there, so I kind of want to retract the last 10 seconds. The People's Joker. Yeah. Anyways, Frozen 2. Frozen 2. Can I zoom in a bit? See, this is better. You can read it a bit more easily. Frozen. Oh, wait, no. Frozen 2 and then later Frozen. Against the Amazing Spider-Man. One of them, a new interpretation of an already established franchise with Spider-Man, with Andrew Garfield, who I think, didn't get a fair shot at being a really great Peter Parker, because he was stuck in a subpar, adaptation of Spider-Man. Let's see. Let me grab it up real quick because I'm kind of torn. I'm not entirely sure which way I lean with this. Frozen. Oh, it's Frozen 2. I picked Frozen 1. I don't want to get the other one. Do we have to get the other one? Never mind. They're really close to each other. Hold on. Where is it? No, it's on the other page. It's so much work. Oh my god, that's the amount of work that they probably did for. Just, the funny thing is with Frozen 2, they put in a bunch of half-assed songs. There was the Brandon Urie song, and that's the only thing I can remember. And the other one was this one was such a cultural thing that, in the bracket that Lachlan and I did for this, gotta say Frozen made it a bit further than it maybe should have. Got Lachlan a bit upset. But between these two, I feel like The Amazing Spider-Man is better than the Frozen 2 sequel, which, that's what was one of the other films that they announced that Disney is still doing. A third Frozen film, which, did you ask for it? Who asked for that? I guess we want to see more from Arendelle and Kristen Bell and Elsa. Yes. Cool. Next up, oh god. I don't want Minions on screen. I'm not gonna pull it up. We're going with Harry Potter, whichever Harry Potter it is. I don't even care. Over Despicable Me 2. Fuck that movie. Fuck any of those movies. They're fine, some of them. I just hate the Minions that much that I don't want them to get out of round one. If I have something against, if I can do something about it, they will not make it past round one. All right, Frozen, we already got pulled up against the Da Vinci Code, which I recently read that, interestingly enough, that premiered at Cannes in what year did it come out? In 2006. It was a Cannes premiere, and it really saw, that festival opened up the doors to be more of a like a marketing machine, which it always was. I'm reading a really interesting book by the director of the Zurich Film Festival. Um, he gave the movie to me, and I kind of feel now obliged to finish the book because he gave it to me personally. He could have just like like stood there and signed it as well. It was a bit awkward, but the book is great. That's why it's not like that awkward. But I actually don't really remember the Da Vinci Code that much. I'd say I'm not really the biggest fan of Ron Howard's filmography. I think he's fine. I've been a big fan of Rush the first time seen it. I haven't seen it since. But his last few films, other than maybe the pretty decent 13 Lives, I feel like Hillbilly Elegy was really bad. And Solo, I guess, was also a bit of a misstep. But the Da Vinci Code wasn't that like, couldn't that have been part of a franchise? Did it continue with Inferno? Was that, or am I, no? No, that's not it. But it's also Tom Hanks. Wait. Is it? Professor Langan, because I haven't read the Da Vinci Code. It is. Oh my god, it is a sequel 10 years later. Wow. Wow. Yeah, no, I'm embarrassingly enough, I'm a big Frozen fan, so Frozen 2 advances. All right. Next up, Tim Burton's Alice in Wonderland against Star Wars Episode 3, Revenge of the Sith. I want to get some thoughts in chat right now. What are you guys' feeling on the prequel, on the Star Wars prequel franchise? Where are we at? Like, have we redeemed it? Is it better now that we got the sequel trilogy and it's, you know, that one didn't work out as well as some might have hoped? What are we feeling? Where is it? Star Wars. Are they? Oh, there it is. Okay. Thought they were gonna spoof me again. Not showing it to me. All right, Star Wars Episode 3, Revenge of the Sith against Alice in Wonderland, that also got a sequel, I think, a couple years later. I think Alice in Wonderland was just fine. But I think it was carried by Avatar, weirdly enough, that, like, you know, the 3D aspect really pushed people into theaters. But thinking back on Revenge of the Sith, it's got way more iconic moments. I'd much rather rewatch this than this film. And I think it's the best one out of the prequel trilogy, probably. So I'm going to go with Star Wars 3, Revenge of the Sith. Next up, we got another Star Wars film in here with The Force Awakens. Now, speaking of that sequel trilogy, this is one of the highest grossing films of all time. It's the highest grossing domestic film in the States by far, I think, like by over $100 million. And it's up against Pixar's much acclaimed Up, which makes even the most cynical person shed a tear in its opening act. What are we feeling on this? I quite like the introduction to this sequel trilogy. I feel like there's a lot of things that they do right. But it's also a lot of things that they just do safe. And I feel like Up is similar. That it's crazy that one's more popular in Letterboxd. It's got 1.8 million logs, and this one got 1.5. You can really see like where Letterboxd audience swings. I don't know. Up is really carried from its opening act, and then I feel like it isn't that great later on. It's fine. Does it beat The Force Awakens? I don't think so. I think Up still takes this, moves into the next round. Next up, we got two films from the Lord of the Rings franchise. We got The Hobbit up against Lord of the Rings, and I don't think I even need to pull this up, because obviously any of the Lord of the Rings films beat the Hobbit films. Although this is the last Hobbit film that it went up against. Maybe that was the most solid one because of the most amount of action. And the first one is Fellowship, which I don't know. I don't know if Fellowship is the weakest. They're all really strong. I couldn't really say, like, one of them is the weakest because they're all pretty good. But I guess the conclusion, with what is it called? The Return of something, Return of the Last Goblin Army. I don't know. Return of the King. That one's probably the best. So yeah. Anyways, Captain Marvel against movie, which okay, it's up against movie. Um, I don't know, just like a general statement against like all of the other movies. Oh, what's this? I guess something went wrong with the input there. We might have to circle back to that one. I don't know which this would be. It said it's against movie, man. Is it 2012? No, 2012 is here. Is it Mission Impossible? Hold up. Mission. No, it is Mission Impossible, right? No, Mission Impossible. This is Fallout. Okay. I think it's on this side then. There's always something wrong with these brackets, man. I never do it correctly. Is it Jumanji? No. Is it Shrek? No. Is it On Stranger Tides with is it Independence Day? No. Hi Mom. Hi. Wait, what is it? Hi Mom. Mom. Okay, it is. Okay, it is Hi Mom, which is an interesting movie to take a look at. So we'll do that. So dumb. All right. Can I change the name still? Hopefully I can. Hi Mom is this Chinese movie from like she's the lead, but she's also the director, and it's a pretty sappy. I don't know why it's got a 3.4. I'm not logged in, so I don't see what other people in my circle rated it, but I think it's a really bad movie, if I'm being honest. So I'm kicking it out over Captain Marvel. But yeah, I don't know. Wouldn't recommend it to people. It was hard to find as well. Wasn't a big fan. But we do have a couple more Chinese films that made it on here. Some I couldn't find, so I had to swap it out for another film. But next up, we got Toy Story 3 against Independence Day. Interesting. I feel like there's a lot of like love for something like Independence Day, but it's not me. And Toy Story 3 is amazing, so I'm not even putting it up. Toy Story 3 advances into the next round. Next up, we got the Ronald Emmerich directed disaster movie 2012, which saw the world end predicted by the Mayans, and it didn't happen. But something that did happen is incredible stunts in this great sequel to Top Gun, so I'm picking that. Going through some of these rounds a bit quicker. Spider-Man Homecoming against the Sorcerer's Stone. Now, this is an interesting matchup. I don't know how to feel about this. The Sorcerer's Stone, it's a fun introduction. Both of them are like an introduction to a new franchise. You gonna go watch Ant-Man? Yeah, have fun, Wiley. I haven't seen that myself. I got an ear infection, so I couldn't go to the press screening, and I haven't had time to go watch since. But hopefully I'll get the time to check it out tomorrow. But from what I've heard so far, I'm not too keen to watch it. But I'm a bigger Harry Potter fan than this latest Spider-Man reintroduction, so I'm going with Sorcerer's Stone over Homecoming. Incredibles 2 against Guardians of the Galaxy. One of the better sequels coming out of Pixar, but I still like Guardians of the Galaxy quite a bit more. Next up, Star Wars The Phantom Menace against Ni Hao Li Hon Yin, which is a propaganda film from China called The Battle of Lake Changjing, which is also getting a sequel that came out earlier. Well, I think it came out this year, and it's just a Chinese propaganda film, where it's like, I don't know. I mean, America does it as well, but it's annoying. It's got like so many characters that are all really heroic and they are there for their country, and it's I don't know. I like although the Phantom Menace isn't great, it's got that one scene with Darth Maul and Ewan and Liam Neeson, and for that alone, it's better than this weird, yeah, Chinese propaganda film. All right, Avengers Endgame against the Chronicles of Narnia, the Lion, the Wardrobe, and the Witch. I don't know. I don't know what the film is called. That brings back a bunch of childhood memories. But Endgame, Endgame is that bitch. It's great. Endgame is great. It was a cinematic experience. Definitely doesn't beat the introduction to this, yeah, novel adaptation. Next up, we got Finding Nemo against The Lord of the Rings: The Two Towers. This is a tough matchup. I'm a big fan of Finding Nemo. It was probably like my first theater experience. I watched it at like an open air theater in like 2004. Like one of the first theater experience I can actually remember. And The Two Towers is, I don't know. I just don't remember that much. I'm not that attached to the Lord of the Rings franchise. So controversially, I'm picking Finding Nemo over the Lord of the Rings 2 Tower. Sky against Pirates of the Caribbean, Dead Men Tell No Tales. Again, other than I think wait, is that the second Pirates of the Caribbean? Before I get ahead of myself, that is number 98. Oh, that was the latest one. Yeah, that one wasn't pretty good. Skyfall was pretty solid. James Bond film, so I'm picking that over this. Toy Story 4, definitely the weakest of the 4 Toy Story films, so I'm really happy that we get a 5th one. But Jumanji, the next level, does the body switching a bit more. I also had to catch up on this one because I hadn't seen it before for this bracket. Was it worth it? No, because I'm kicking it out in the first round. Black Panther against No Time to Die. Oh, that's tough. That's tough. That's tough because I like Black Panther, especially the villain with Michael B. Jordan. But I like the conclusion to No Time to Die, to like that James Bond character. Out of those 5 movies, I think just having gone with Skyfall over Pirates of the Caribbean, and now we got another Disney franchise here. And yeah, Black Panther didn't leave that type of impact. It's culturally significant for the amount of money it made in the States and for representation's sake, but I feel like No Time to Die was just a more well-rounded experience, and I liked it more. So that advances. Now we got the second Guardians of the Galaxy film against Jurassic World Dominion, which can go suck a dick. Let's go with Guardians of the Galaxy. That movie made me tear up when, at the ending. Not going to spoil it here for those who haven't seen it for some reason. And Dominion was just bad. I think that was the latest one, right? Yeah, we got Fallen Kingdom and then Dominion, the one that came out last year. Shit movie. Wasn't great. The locusts reigned the world. Next up, we do have that second Jurassic World film, which I also had to catch up on. Well, I guess for Dominion. I remember that. I avoided it because I couldn't have cared less. And this is The Mockingjay Part 1. Now, I don't remember. I read the books for the Hunger Games films. I don't remember what happens where in that film. I think the second one is like where the really fucked up bombing stuff happens with Prim. So they kind of blend together to me for some reason. Is it worse than Fallen Kingdom though? No, because not a lot of. I don't know. I don't know. I think it's fine. It was fine. It accomplished what it needed to do. It didn't need to be split up into 2 movies, but it isn't as bad as what they've done to the Jurassic Park franchise. Inside Out against the first Hobbit film. I like Pixar more than I like The Lord of the Rings, and especially like this half-assed adaptation with 48 frames looking ass. Don't need that. Give me emotions and make them colorful and make them played by Mindy Kaling. and Bill Hader. Love it. All right, next up, Spider-Man No Way Home. It's crazy that this is the 7th highest grossing movie of all time. But deservedly so. It's got a lot of nostalgia bait. And that works. And Monsters University was one of the sequels that didn't really work for me. I like the original Monsters Inc. But yeah, pretty solid. Let's move on to, oh my god, the Multiverse of Midness against Ice Age Dawn of the Dinosaurs. Now, I have to refresh my memory on which Ice Age movie this is. Is this Ice Age 4? No. Ice Age 4 is the Continental Drift. It's been a while since I've seen these movies. Dawn of the Dinosaurs is the one from 2009. Let's have a look at the Ice Age franchise, how well that did commercially. Ice Age, come on, show me the whole thing. How well did that do? Give me the franchise, please. Oh, well. Collision Course. Was that the one, that the latest one? From 2016. Wait, oh my god, this flopped monumentally. And this one was this just a streaming release? Yeah, that was a streaming release, so we don't have any data on that. For some reason, also no production budget. Yeah, this one flopped. This one flopped kind of hard. Wait, Collision Course. Yeah, 400 million. And then these made way more. Okay. So the Continental Drift was the last one that actually made money. This was the second one. It's the same with Pirates of the Caribbean, but in animated form. I kind of have fond memories of this. This, like, especially Sid was like a character that a childhood friend of mine. She always made, like, she could do the voice pretty well, and like I watched these films in a German dubbing as well. That's like, how young I was when these came out. So I'm gonna go with Ice Age over Doctor Strange, which, you could have presented me most films and I would have taken them over that pretty mediocre film. All right, next up we got Mission Impossible Fallout against Aquaman. Aquaman is pretty silly, it's pretty fun, but not for the reasons of being a good movie. And I quite like Mission Impossible Fallout. I think it's probably, to me, probably the best of the Mission Impossible films. Makes me keen to see more from that universe. Rogue One, a Star Wars story against the original Spider-Man. Oh, what a tough matchup. Sam Raimi's introduction. If this was Spider-Man 2, there would be no argument. Spider-Man 2 would advance. But being Rogue One, I think it's the best film, looking back, that we got out of this, like, since the acquisition of Lucasfilms, since Disney acquired them. I think it's the best thing that has come out of it. So I'm picking Rogue One over Spider-Man. X-Men Days of Future Past against the original Avengers. I really liked Days of Future Past. I think it was my favorite of the new X-Men films. So I'm going with that over Avengers, which is a big pick. But I feel like Avengers has been dated a lot since 2012. And I think, when did Days of Future Past come out? There must have been, I think, in 2014, right? So a couple years later. And they did the overlap. Yeah, it was 2014, which, fuck Bryan Singer. For heaps of reasons, for Bohemian Rhapsody, for this, and for all of the accusations against him. But this was a pretty solid film. Avengers was the same. They're pretty closer than I guess I led on to admit by how quickly I chose Days of Future Past over the Avengers. But yeah, they're both pretty good. Pirates of the Caribbean at World's End against Ice Age: The Continental Drift. We just talked about it before. The Continental Drift is the I guess the latest quite successful Ice Age film. And was that the one? I don't know. I can't differentiate that. I feel like that it kind of fell off. Let's have a look at how much what the ratings were. Maybe it will refresh my memory. Maybe the plot description will also help. Times are changing for Manny and Moody Mammoth, Sid the motor-mouthed sloth, and Diego the crafty saber-toothed tiger. Life heats up for our heroes when they meet some new and not too friendly neighbors, the mighty dinosaurs. I think I remember this partly. It's fine, but at World's End, if I remember that correctly, let me have a look real quick. I think that's the at World's End. Yeah. That's the third one in the franchise. I quite like this one. I think it wasn't too bad. I think I'm still going with. Wait, did I also pick the other Ice Age? Oh my god, I'm showing my inner child. No, I feel like there's a better Pirates of the Caribbean movie still coming. This one, no, not on Stranger Tides. Wait, give me the rest of the franchise. This one. Dead Man's Chest. I think that's probably the best out of the franchise. The first one is also pretty good. Both of these I would take over the Ice Age film. But this one, hold up. At World's End, was the last one that was kind of decent. Let's go with Continental Drift. Both of these I don't really care for too much. Deadpool against Iron Man 3. Easily Deadpool. Nu Zhang Lang 2. Which is a movie I haven't seen, against Jurassic Park. Obviously, Jurassic Park takes it. That actually, Jurassic Park can go quite far in this whole bracket. Titanic against F9. I don't even know which Fast and Furious movie that exactly is and what happens. Maybe it's the one where the submarine submerges and comes up from under the water. It's like Frozen, really exciting. Chan Jin Je. Wait, I haven't shown this in a bit. Sorry. This is like the latest view. Let me have a quick look at which film this is. Oh wait, this was actually the Battle of Lake Shangqing. Wait, is it the second one? I'm confused. Does it beat Minions: The Rise of Gru? Oh my god. I'm gonna let the minions advance into the next round. Ugh, that feels feels wrong. Feels so wrong to do. Return of the King against Spider-Man 2. Oh no. This could legitimately be a finale matchup. Like, these two films are both amazing. Not Amazing Spider-Man. Not Amazing Rings. Not Amazon. I think I kind of have to go with, Return of the King. Although, I don't know if I should go Spider-Man 2. Man, that was a hard one. All right. Star Wars: The Rise of Skywalker against Shrek the Third. Oh no. Yeah. You make me pick between these two. Lord of the Rings, Return of the King, and Spider-Man. Follow it up by The Rise of Skywalker, arguably the worst Star Wars film ever made. And definitely the worst Shrek film. With a bunch of poo-poo humor. Man, I'm going with Shrek the Third. That's what it's called. Because he's Irish in this. And he also shits and pisses a lot. Age of Ultron against Maleficent. I care for neither of them. But Maleficent was really annoying, and Age of Ultron was at least kind of entertaining. The original Lion King against Batman v Superman: Dawn of Justice. That was the quickest advancement I've ever made. The Batman against Beauty and the Beast. Now, which Beauty and the Beast are we talking about? Are we talking about the remake? Yes, we are. Never mind. The Batman advances. You're not talking about the original from the 90s, but the remake from, what was it, like 2017? Man, that feels like way longer ago, but I guess it was only 2017. Finding Dory against for Ragnarok. Then I let Finding Nemo advance into the next round. Not the same case for Finding Dory. For moves on to the next round. Matrix Reloaded, the second film in the Matrix franchise. And then Avengers Infinity War. I think it's my favorite Avengers film out of all of them. So Infinity War moves on. 2 Harry Potter films. the Goblet of Fire against Deathly Hollows Part 1, I assume. I like the Goblet of Fire a bit more. Wait, which one is that? That's the bottom one. Okay, it cuts off there. All right, okay, I picked the right one. Spider-Man Far From Home against Furious 6. I didn't really care for that second Spider-Man film. And Fast and Furious 6. I do have to refresh my memory. No, that was the one that like followed Fast 5, which was pretty good. Then this one was, I think, pretty mediocre, and then Paul Walker died and they made a decent one with Furious 7. But I'm going to go with, I think that one will come up later on. Oh yeah, it will literally come up in 2 matchups. So I'm going with Far From Home on this. The original, no, Dead Man's Chest, which is, wait, which one is that? Dead Man's Chest is, it's confusing. Dead Man's Chest is the second one against Wonder Woman. Fine. I take Dead Man's Chest over Wonder Woman's chest. Okay, that was weird. Let me take that back. Furious 7 against Shrek Forever After. First 2 Shreks easily beat this. I feel like Furious 7 is delivers on what it promises with the action. So I'm picking that. Jumanji, Welcome to the Jungle. The first one against Spectre. Actually, I don't know. I'm not like passionate about either of these films. I'm still going with Spectre over Jumanji. The Fate of the Furious, the 8th one, against Star Wars A New Hope. Easily going to that. How much should Star Wars A New Hope make? Obviously, that would have to be adjusted to inflation as well. Let's see. Star Wars. A New Hope made $775 million. Okay, not too bad. All right. Anyways, last round 64. Oh my god, this took a while, man. We've been here way longer than I expected to be. How long have we been here for? Already, yeah, over 90 minutes, almost 90 minutes. Despicable Me 3 against Revenge of the Fallen. Oh my god. I think it's 2. This is also the 3rd one, right? Revenge of the Fallen. Despicable Me 3 really annoyed me. So it's crazy that it's only in this bracket where you can see a Transformers film make it into the 2nd round. All right, so let's move on to the next round. We got a top 64. We'll move through these a bit faster. Shrek 2 against the Winter Soldier. Oh my god. What a tough matchup. I think I say let's move through them a bit faster, and then I immediately will take longer because I do want to grab my MCU list here real quick. Where is it? Okay. This is controversial, but I do have the Winter Soldier as my 2nd favorite. I don't know if I change this. Maybe I like Infinity War more than Iron Man and Captain America, but Guardians is my favorite MCU film. I don't know. I like Shrek 1 more. I like Shrek 1 more. So I'm picking Captain America over Shrek. I know it is gonna upset a lot of people. E.T. against Coco. Big fan of E.T. Was great. I like Coco even more. Star Wars The Last Jedi against Zootopia. Zootopia moves on. Harry Potter The Deathly Hallows Part 2 against The Dark Knight. Another easy round to The Dark Knight. Oh, I need some water. Hello? Let me do it, please. Why are you loading? What's the most profitable franchise of all time? Maybe we can look at that. Most profitable movie franchise of all time. Oh, obviously the cinematic universe. Let's see. Why does it not let me do this? It's only for The Dark Knight and The Deathly Hallows. Someone from Harry Potter, the Harry Potter universe is watching and doesn't let me do this. Hello? All right. So here's a list. Number 13, Pirates of the Caribbean, 4.2 5.2 billion. Transformers 4.686 billion. Batman, I guess 10 live action films altogether. I don't want to tweet about it. Bit less than 5 billion. Okay. Jurassic Park 5 billion. DC Extended Universe 5.6. Middle Earth 5.86. Fast and Furious 5.9. X-Men 6. Spider-Man. Okay, that's actually pretty, like, that's a lot for the amount of movies that they've made, which I guess, I don't know if they count the movies he's kind of been in. It's only when he's the protagonist. Okay. James Bond. Well, I guess there's 50 movies or so. No, there's 25 movies. 26. The Wizarding World, almost 10 billion here, 9.81. Star Wars, 10.2. And then the MCU with a big leap. Jesus Christ. Yeah. All right. Yeah, that checks out. That makes sense. All right, let's have a look. I think we are now able to advance this. The Dark Knight moves on to the next round. Jurassic World against the Jungle Book. I'm going with the Jungle Book. I don't like Jurassic World at all. Civil War against Aladdin. MCU stan here, man. For some reason, I'm picking that. Madagascar 3 against Bohemian Rhapsody. What a cursed matchup. I don't like either of these films. Madagascar 3, I'd watch over Bohemian Rhapsody though. Deadpool 2 against Wakanda Forever. Or is it? Yeah, Wakanda Forever. I like this sequel a bit better for that Batman over Black Panther. Inception against The Order of Phoenix. Ooh. Okay, if this were The Prisoner of Azkaban, like in the next round, which we can already, it's not gonna be Joker. I feel like this, it would also go up in the next round against The Prisoner of Azkaban. Which is gonna be a tough matchup. Right? Hold on, I don't want to get ahead of myself. But yeah, Inception against Harry Potter. Here, The Amazing Spider-Man against The Chamber of Secrets. Got so many Harry Potter films back to back, man. I did let a lot of them advance. There's another one better down low. I also, it's a part of my childhood, man. I really like the Harry Potter films. Now, Frozen, I do like over Revenge of the Sith. Might be a surprise to a lot of people as well. Up against the Fellowship of the Rings. Huh. See, here it comes in that, like, I only like the opening of Up. I don't like the entire film, so I'm picking Fellowship over Up. Toy Story 3 over Captain Marvel. The Sorcerer's Stone against Top Gun. A lot of people really love Top Gun this year. I'm going with the 4th Harry Potter film. No, I guess one of them I kicked out. Okay, not a great look. Guardians of the Galaxy against the Phantom Menace. I'm a fan of Harry Potter and MCU. What can I say? Finding Nemo against Endgame. Now, this is a tough matchup. This is an actual matchup here that we got. Childhood memory against, I watched this movie in like Brisbane in like one of the biggest theaters I've ever been in with like 1,000 other people cheering on to each moment. It was actually pretty hype. Now, without that, I feel like with this, I have maybe 2 other Toy Story films that I think are better than Finding Nemo. With Avengers, there's also way more movies. Compared like MCU against Pixar. And it might be like in my top 5 Endgame. So I'm picking, oh no, I clicked the wrong one. No, can I change it? That's embarrassing. Yeah, it's, oh my God. Chaos ensues. Finding Nemo over that. But hey, here we go. No Pixar in this round because I'm picking Skyfall over Toy Story 4. Guardians of the Galaxy 2 against No Time to Die. Going with No Time to Die on this one. Hunger Games Mockingbird Part 1 against Inside Out. Going with Pixar again. MCU, No Way Home over Dawn of the Dinosaurs. Mission Impossible Fallout against Rogue One. I like Rogue One. I think Mission Impossible Fallout is the best of the franchise. Rogue One isn't the best of the entirety of the Star Wars franchise. It's just the best of the more recent Star Wars films. Days of the Future Past against this Ice Age film. Jurassic Park against Deadpool. Deadpool's great. still gotta go with the OG here. Rise of Gru against Titanic. I'd love to go see that like 10 more times in the theater. Minions, that is, of course. No, Titanic before I would ever rewatch any of the Minions films. Shrek the Third against The Return of the King. That's easy here with Lord of the Rings. The Lion King, the original here, not the abysmal remake from Jon Favreau. Against Age of Ultron, easy. Lion King, one of the best Disney films ever made. Will you advance, please? Thank you. The Batman against Thor Ragnarok. A more comedic film with a more like brooding film that has a lot of, I don't know, it might be recency bias because I really like Thor Ragnarok. If I pull up my MCU list again, it is like, you know, the sixth highest rated film out of all of the ones I've seen, which Miss Marvel actually should be higher. I just haven't adjusted it yet. That wasn't the worst by any stretch. But yeah, I'm picking the Batman over for Ragnarok because I think it's my second favorite Batman film other than The Dark Knight. I really liked it. I'm looking forward to the next one. Avengers Infinity War against the Goblet of Fire. Here, the two franchises I've favored so far the most overall, if you look at it. Maybe there's also Pixar that I quite like, and Disney. Disney is doing mighty fine in this overall. I'm going with Infinity War. Because although it is here my fourth, it actually might be my second, if I'm being completely honest. I really liked Infinity War. Spider-Man Far From Home against A Dead Man's Chest. I do prefer the second Pirates film over the second Spider-Man film. Furious 7 against Spectre. That was a wrong click. I meant to go with Spectre on this. Although, I don't know. No, I actually don't really... let me take it back. Furious 7. It moves up over Spectre. I didn't really care for it. And I can't really even remember what happens in that film. I watched it like once. I think I fell asleep like twice. So, yeah. Couldn't tell you what happens in that. I know that Christoph Waltz is in it. Revenge of the Fallen against The New Hope. An easy next round for Star Wars 1, the actual OG. That means we move to our top 32, only 32 films remaining. And first matchup is between The Winter Soldier and Coco. Gotta go with Coco on this, if it will let me. There we go. Coco moves on to the next round. The Dark Knight against Zootopia. Going with The Dark Knight in this. The Jungle Book against Civil War. Going with Civil War. Deadpool 2 against Madagascar 3. Deadpool 2 advances. Inception. I want to come... No, I'll come back to this one. This is a tough matchup. Harry Potter and the Chamber of Secrets against Frozen. I like Frozen more, and I don't want to give too much love to Harry Potter. I've already done more than enough. Lord of the Rings, the Fellowship of the Ring against Toy Story 3. Easy. Toy Story takes this. The Sorcerer's Stone against the original Guardians of the Galaxy. Two introductions to, I guess, a new franchise. I like Guardians more than that first Harry Potter film. Skyfall against Finding Nemo. Finding Nemo. No Time to Die against Inside Out. Man, yeah, these recent James Bond films have made a lot of money, surprisingly. I'm not like huge on Inside Out, so I think for me, because because Casino Royale is not in this, my champion for James Bond is going to be No Time to Die. And with Pixar, you know, we got Finding Nemo, we got some other great films like Coco in here, like Toy Story 3. They'll make it far. So I don't think Inside Out stands a chance on that front. No Way Home against Mission Impossible Fallout. I'll go with Mission Impossible Fallout. Days of Future Past against Jurassic Park. Definitely going with that OG film. Titanic against the Lord of the Rings. Which Lord of the Rings are we talking about? The Return of the King. Return of the King. The ship has sunken. Anyways, The Lion King against Batman. Now, I've just praised the Batman in the previous round. I'm a huge sucker for animated films. Like, we only get Pixar, we get Disney, we get no other studio in here, like a Ghibli studio, which would make it really far for me personally. If like something like Princess Mononoke would make it in here. I'm actually wondering where would Mononoke. Mono. It's not. Let's see where Princess Mononoke ranks. Because I'm wondering. It's also not in the top 300 highest grossing films of all time. It might not pop. I think it doesn't pop up anywhere because it didn't really get a theatrical run in the States or anywhere. Because it just kind of came out with the dubs way later. Mononoke. Let's see. Still want to have a look. Princess. Oh no. Noke. Show me. Oh, there it is. Okay. Yeah, worldwide gross about 150 million. Only 2.3. I assume these were all like re-releases. Let's see. No, 1999. So it did come out, I guess, then. But yeah. Okay. Interestingly enough, not in here, but Lion King moves over Batman. Avengers Infinity War against Dead Man's Chest. I like Infinity War a bit more than that second Pirates film. I also haven't seen that in a while. And A New Hope over Furious 7. All right. We have arrived at the final 16 movies. Why? Oh, never mind. No, I still have one decision to make. Between Inception and Prisoners of Azkaban. Is there any other Harry Potter films still in the running? No, there isn't. I've kicked them all out. They have lost. Where are they? I'm actually wondering. Did I kick them out the romp before? Sorcerer's Stone lost. The Chamber of Secrets lost. And yeah, that's it. I like Nolan. Inception is one of his best films. Let me have a look at the rest of his films. I like The Dark Knight more than I like Inception. I think I might even like Dunkirk more than I like Inception. I definitely like Memento more than I like Inception. So, yeah, it's like my third favorite, maybe. Yeah, tied for third. I like it more than Dunkirk. But I'm going with Prisoners of Azkaban. By far my favorite Harry Potter film. All right, top 16 time. Now, oh my god. What a matchup. Coco against The Dark Knight. For the final 16, I am feeling a bit of music. I kind of want to listen to some music, man. Listen to some Vince Vivaldi. Wait, why is it not late? There we go. What a decision to make. Coco against The Dark Knight. What other... We have Toy Story left. We have Finding Nemo left. Do I have... I don't want to revert back to always just like, you know, what have I ranked these movies before? Like, what's my highest rated one? But I kind of have to. We go by studio with Pixar. Oh, it's not looking great for me. Is everyone completely honest? Coco. I have it rated as my favorite of all time. I have the original Toy Story over Toy Story 3 and WALL-E more and Finding Nemo. And we got Toy Story 3 still in here, which I guess I'm overpraising. I kind of like Finding Nemo a bit more. But it's a Dark Knight, man. It's a Dark Knight. Is it better? I don't know. Which one's better? Ah! This is way too hard, man. This could be our finale. I'm doing this last again. Civil War against Deadpool. Oh my god. These are both movies that definitely won't make it into the semifinal. But I guess I'll pick Civil War over Deadpool 2. Frozen against the Prisoners of Azkaban. Have liked Frozen, but it's beaten out by the Prisoner of Azkaban. Guardians of the Galaxy, my favorite MCU film, against apparently my sixth favorite. Oh shit, I haven't showed it. My sixth favorite Pixar film. So we went with Captain America over this, and then Harry Potter, Prisoner of Azkaban over Frozen. You know, I never watched Toy Story when I was a kid. I only just recently watched it, like 3 years ago. Got more connections as a kid with Guardians. Actually, I have a really concrete memory, like a fixed memory of going on a double date to go watch that film. And it was a really pleasant experience. So I don't know why I need to justify it even more. But no, that's it. Finding Nemo moves over No Time to Die. So all of the Pixar heads, you do get some representation. I'm not done here yet. I know there's probably an equal amount of Sam, maybe even more for The Dark Knight. I don't know. Jurassic Park against Mission Impossible Fallout. It's another tough matchup. I feel like they're on an equal playing field of quality. I do love me some Jurassic Park though, so narrowly it makes it over Fallout. The Lion King against Return of the King. Two kings here. There's only one true king, and that's the Lion King. I would be lying if I said I liked The Lord of the Rings more than I do The Lion King. So I'm seeing a lot of like animated films make it really far for me, which is interesting. But I guess they make a shit ton of money. Avengers Infinity War against A New Hope. If this were Return of the Jedi, it would be easy, Infinity War. If this were The Empire Strikes Back, it would be easy, and I would go with that. But this is going to go to Infinity War. Weirdly enough, that was the last Star Wars film that was still in here. Alright. Oh god, I gotta make a choice between Coco and The Dark Knight. I can't! It's too tough! Like, these are both great films. What do I do? Gotta make a decision by the end of the song. Oh, I wanted to click randomly. Oh, okay. No, I decided. I'm putting The Dark Knight over Coco. Ooh. Epic music. These nice music as we head on over to our final 8 round. First up, we got The Dark Knight against Civil War. We had to part ways with Coco. And we have parting ways with another MCU film, moving The Dark Knight further up into the semifinals. Next up, Guardians of the Galaxy against the Prisoners of Azkaban. These are both the last... No, we still got Infinity War. But these are... We got 3 of the 8 movies from the MCU in our final 8. We got 1 Pixar movie. We got 1 Disney animated movie. And then we got 1 Harry Potter film. Now, I think we will make it out of this round with no more remaining MCU films. To the fault of definitely The Lion King, which is one of my favorite films of all time. So it beats out Infinity War. This matchup I don't want to get to, if I'm being honest. And then Harry Potter against Guardians of the Galaxy. God, I don't know. I'm going with Harry Potter. No. Harry Potter and the Prisoners of Azkaban. Prisoner of Azkaban. Jurassic Park against Finding Nemo. Ay, 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 ah. Me not like. This is hard. I think I already know what's going to win the whole bracket though. Which I'm not going to spoil right now. But for this penultimate matchup between Jurassic Park and Finding Nemo, I'm stalling because I don't know what to pick. I almost want to flip a coin to decide. No, I'm going with my gut. I'm going with Finding Nemo. So we do have a semifinal that consists of hold this real quick. Bam. Like this. All right. So we do have a semi-final that consists of two pretty gritty films, The Dark Knight and Prisoners of Azkaban. And we do have two animated films, The Lion King and Finding Nemo. Now, between these two, I think Finding Nemo is really close to being one of my favorite Pixar films. If it shook out like differently in the bracket, I think Coco would have given it a fair running and being like, you know, the winner there. But The Lion King is my favorite Disney animated film. It's like if there were any Ghibli films, I think it would still beat some of them out. But The Lion King I really adore. Against Dark Knight or The Prison of Azkaban, where do I lean here? Man, I think I do have to go. Did The Dark Knight really have like an easy running in this bracket? We gotta check that out in a second. But The Prisoners of Azkaban taking out a lot of like, you know, big enemies. I'm going with The Dark Knight. So we have arrived at the finale. Which... Let me get some epic music going. So we have moved past 126 movies. They had to be eliminated to get to our final matchup between The Dark Knight, Christopher Nolan's magnum opus, arguably the best superhero film ever made, against one of the best animated films of all time, a true Disney classic, The Lion King. Where do I lean? If I had to pick between these two iconic films, I can only have one winner to be the best box office king, one to reign over all of them. And even if Avatar and James Cameron make another 7 sequels that will, you know, make a shit ton of money, these still stand the test of time of being some of the best movies of all time. I gotta stay true to myself. And I gotta go with the film that shaped my childhood the most. Which is The Lion King. The Lion King wins a bracket. Oh shit, for a second I clicked on the wrong thing. But The Lion King wins our bracket. It's determined to be the best movie of the 128 highest grossing movies of all time. Let me know if you want me to do this for the 256th highest let me know if you need if you want me to do this for the 256 highest grossing movies of all time. That would double the list, and it would take way longer. This already took a shit ton of time. So let me know what would have made it far in your bracket, and that's it. Thanks so much for tuning in. We'll continue our readily scheduled programming. I'm thinking, should we push back Hogwarts Legacy? I don't know. I do want to continue playing that for a bit. I don't know. Let me set it up. We'll play a bit of Hogwarts Legacy. Although I am, gotta say, pretty tired after not even 2 hours of streaming, because that was exhausting. Alright. Let's put on some music. Let's put out some tunes. Grab some snacks. And we will get to playing some Hogwarts Legacy in a bit. Why do I have this focusing issue? Oh, still have the cleaning thing. I didn't get to, but nail polish remover. Gotta get rid of these like rests of on my thumb. It's still pretty. Oh my god, why does my thumb look so small in the camera? Jesus. Alright. Ooh, kitten on the table. Hey, kitten, come over here. Oh, kitten on the camera.
Check me out, y'all.
Oh, hello. Come in. Wait, we can move this a bit, so you'll be more in frame. Stay here, stay here. You can stay here. Hello. Come here. Stretching. Why you're just like barely in frame? I was like waiting for my PS5 to turn on, but I unplugged it. It can't be turned on if it's turned off, you know? That's basic economics. Yes, it's economics. Don't question me on that. Alright. Alright, it's got a start up. I'll play you another song. And I'll be back in a sec. All right. Let's see. I think my PS5 is not really connecting. If it doesn't happen in the next few minutes, we might cap this early. We might play like a round of framed stuff like that. I don't know what it is. It should be on. It doesn't turn on for some reason. Let me check it out. Oh shit. Backed up into the table that it's not usually there. Alright. Should be set up. I don't know if it works audio wise when I switch. We'll see. Yeah, I should have set this up before because it's not letting me select the PS5, unfortunately. All right. Then I lied. People died. Then I think we'll continue Hogwarts Legacy tomorrow night. Might even finish it tomorrow night. But I am at work, so it will be a late night stream for me. But then if you don't do that, let's end today's stream by playing a couple rounds of Framed. I think I would need to restart. Or maybe this would work. No, doesn't seem to be working. Never mind. Yeah. I don't know, maybe I could have fixed it, but I'm a bit too tired anyways. And I want to bring a bit more energy to those Hogwarts Legacy streams, especially in the final stretch. Alright. Not time yet to end it. Oh, Kitten is back. Hello, Kitten. Come on. Show us. Hello. Come here. Hello, Kitten. Joining us in the background. Alright, let's play some rounds of Framed. A game where, let me pull it up real quick. A game where you have to figure out what the movie is just by looking at a single frame of it, which is harder than it's... Oh, kitten jumped. Which is harder than it sounds, to be honest. It's really quite tough, and I'm already struggling. I don't know if I do have like an initial impression here. Somehow it's giving me like weird. Maybe it's just because we talked about the Dark Knight just a second ago, but I feel like it's the Falcone being dropped outside the window thing. For some reason, this also looks like Lin-Manuel Miranda. So I don't know. It could also be like, it's definitely not 7, but that's the one I'm like the most closely gravitating towards from the look of it. It's not 7, definitely not. But let's continue on. It's not Hotel. What is it called? Hotel Mumbai. I haven't seen that film. Or what was it called? The one with Don Cheadle. Hotel Rwanda, I think, right? Rwanda. Hotel Rwanda. How do you spell that? Don Cheadle. I don't really know what it could be. It would be Hotel Rwanda. Yeah, that's not in here. I don't know. It's definitely all around the world because I think this is not the same city as this. I don't know, some Mission Impossible film. The first Mission Impossible? Wait. I don't know why. That's just me being dumb, but it's giving me Moonlight vibes. It's also not Moonlight. What is this? Boxing. Oh my god. Oh my god. Oh my god. Why do I not see it? Jamie Foxx. Diplomat Hotel. Larry Moore. Curry. I haven't seen this film. But what kind of boxing films are there? Is it just Ali? Was Jamie Foxx in Ali? Yeah, okay. I haven't seen that one. Which this isn't giving me much. And here I just thought like, I don't know. I guess it does make sense that it's like a period piece. But it had like those moonlight covers, a bit of it. This also wouldn't have given it away to me. Like the boxing thing was the obvious one. Okay. Alright. There's a few more that we can do. We can do the... Which gives us a... I can't really zoom in here. Gives us a 6-second clip. I already feel like this is some Wes... Oh, shit. I already feel like this is some Wes Anderson film. Not entirely sure. I think we gotta pause this real quick to have a look. It's definitely Wes Anderson, but I'm not entirely sure which one. It's got the colors of like Moonrise Kingdom. But it could... Oh shit. No, don't mean to select it. It could also be French Dispatch. Is that already in here? No. So is it Hotel Grand Budapest Hotel? So I don't know. It's got like that memoriam thing. I don't know. I should notice. I should definitely notice. But okay, yeah, it is the Grand Buddha puzzle. Okay, that was a really easy one then. What would have been the next clue? Okay, from the music, that would have been easy. Sure. Obvious here. Incredibly obvious, but this. Okay, that was an easy round of this. Oh shit. Okay, we I think we are lagging for some reason. It tells me. Anyways, do I have another one? Maybe that's something that's a bit harder. So I'll fail at it. Which would be so fun. Let's see. Oh yeah, the movie though. I think this is really hard because it shows you a movie in a 1 second clip and then you get like an additional second, but it plays the whole movie in 1 second for you. So let's see how well we do with this. Okay, 3, 2, 1. Definitely 90s. Something boxing. That's what I got. Again, I'm feeling 7, but it's not 7. I don't know. I don't know if I saw it. I think it wasn't what's his name? I think it wasn't Samuel L. Jackson. I don't know. I got it also wasn't what's his name? Morgan Freeman. Let's go with 7. That wasn't it. So we do get to see another additional second of it being just played slower. Oh, okay. No, I initially thought that and was like, wait, I saw a white guy in this film and it looks like they're rapping. It isn't just like 8 Mile, right? But it is. It's definitely 8 Mile. And I thought that this in the first round already. So yeah. All right. Wait, why are they so easy today, man? All right. Well, that brings us to the end of the stream. Tomorrow, if I'm not totally done with my energy, we'll continue Hogwarts Legacy. We might even finish it. Probably not. Then we'll finish it on Saturday. On Sunday, we'll be watching the BAFTAs live with a live reaction. We do have our predictions out in a previous stream if you're interested in that. And yeah, that's pretty much it. Thanks so much for tuning in. We'll also be playing The Last of Us Left Behind pretty soon. Heaps of stuff more to come. So leave a like, subscribe to not miss more. Going back to reviews pretty soon. Yeah. Thanks for